welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com. What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbein, joined every Tuesday and Thursday by my main man, Donnie Drew. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk or anywhere you get your podcasts. And today we're talking about three big headlines the Pittsburgh Steelers have had within the last 48 hours or so. We're going to start off with Diontae Johnson and the statement the NFL made about him and possibly what he's worth. A petition to take down Acrisure Stadium, get him out of here before they even start. And finally, Le'Veon Bell is somewhat retiring from the game of football. And in his goodbye, he mentions what could have been with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Plenty to talk about. It's a busy day. Donnie, it's a beautiful day here in the Burgh. How you feel, my friend?
Feeling great. What a time for everybody to be a Pittsburgh sports fan. I mean, Penguins just signed Evgeny Malkin, made sure he's going to retire with Sid. Phenomenal day. The Pittsburgh Pirates, before the last two games, had won like 4 in a row. Phenomenal day.
Did they start winning after I was there and they lost 19-2?
Yes, they did.
You're welcome, Pirates fans.
Yeah, so you got those two things going, and you got the Steelers. You know, one of their old running backs is about to retire and head into boxing. Another one of their receivers is not apparently valued throughout the NFL, and apparently their stadium sucks. So cool.
Their stadium does suck. I think we can all agree that their stadium does suck.
The name sucks. Like Heinz Field is a pretty cool place to go watch some football.
Heinz Field's fantastic, yeah, but the name is pretty garbage. But we're going to start off with Diontae Johnson. The NFL, every year, Jeremy Fowler, I think this is 2 or 3 years in a row, Jeremy Fowler speaks to 50 NFL execs and GMs, getting the inside scoop on who they believe is the top 10 at each valued position. They came out with wide receiver. It was not in Diontae Johnson's favor.
No.
Unfortunately, he missed the top 10, which I think everybody expected. But on top of that, he also missed honorable mentions. I'll just run through the names here. Obviously, Devontae Adams at number 1, Cooper Kupp at number 2, Jamar Chase comes in at number 3, Justin Jefferson, number 4, Tyreek Hill, number 5, Stephon Diggs makes the list at 6, DeAndre Hopkins, 7, Mike Evans, 8, Deebo Samuel comes in at 9, DK Metcalf at 10, and then honorable mentions, Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, who just got paid, and we just talked about how maybe that's where Diontae Johnson's number is, Marquise Goodwin, Michael Thomas, C.D. Lamb, and Mike Williams. You look at the list, there's no issues with it, I don't believe.
No. But I will say Michael Thomas, the Saints Mike Thomas, not Mike Williams, Michael Thomas, for him to still kind of be on the honorable mentions after like not really have like playing a whole lot.
In 2 years. Yeah, but he's a monster.
He is for sure. For sure. But I mean, we're talking about the NFL's top 10 receivers heading into 2022. I don't know anybody who has their like heights and expectations set for a guy like Mike Thomas to go up and not explode, but I mean to be one of the top 15 receivers in the NFL. I don't expect that. I thought it was interesting too that he was also, and he being Diontae Johnson, in the also receiving votes category. I don't know if you saw that. So there was Adam Thielen, Tyler Lockett, Diontae Johnson, Odell Beckham Jr., and T. Higgins is kind of the company, which isn't bad company for Diontae Johnson to be around. But I do think it opens up the question, how does the rest of the NFL value Diontae Johnson?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear how they value Diontae Johnson. They don't think he's in the same realm as a lot of these guys. I think the biggest name on that list is Marquise Godwin, who
Goodwin.
I think he's paid $17 million a season or something. And I know it was a low ball, but Chris Godwin. Oh yeah, not Marquise. Yeah, he's the fast dude. Forgot about him for a long time. Godwin is a dude who has been who's on the list, who's been underpaid. He's still going to remain underpaid with this new spike in the market, but he's clearly better than Diontae Johnson. I didn't expect either of them to make the list, but I know that Godwin's closer than DJ is to making that top 10. I think that just solidifies. I think it solidifies a lot of things. It solidifies that Diontae Johnson is not in the $20 million range viewed by the NFL. And I think it kind of justifies what a lot of Steelers fans are saying is that there's a select group of guys that are worth this amount of money. And Diontae Johnson's not in there. I thought that he is, but if NFL GMs and execs believe that, then I'll rethink myself.
So to kind of touch on that point, Chris Godwin currently makes an average salary of $20 million, which is right around, I think, what Diontae
he is
Johnson.
$20 million?
Yeah, so that's right around what he's trying to aim himself for. I do want to give a counterpoint to everything you just said, though, because you did bring up a lot of facts. No printer. I think NFL receivers getting paid is a lot of kind of what the market is demanding, more so their talents. An example, Christian Kirk. I think Diontae Johnson, I don't think there's any doubting. He's going to get, on an open market, $20 million a year. Especially if the Steelers don't pay him this season and he goes off and he has a phenomenal year. Yeah, 100% I expect him to do what he does and get that big money deal. But is he worth it? That's kind of the dilemma you have to go back and forth with if you're the Steelers and if you're other NFL teams as well.
So let me ask that, because I think we've talked about the Steelers about 1 billion times already. Does this show that Diontae Johnson's market value outside of Pittsburgh might not be as high as we believe?
I would say yes and no. I think a random poll of anonymous execs doesn't exactly speak to how every team feels about him, at least throughout the league. But also at the same time, you have to figure some of these people and some of these guys that are answering these questions are decision makers. And, if other teams or other people high up in NFL teams feel this way about Diontae Johnson, certainly some others do, right? But the only problem with that line of thinking is all it takes is one team to believe in them. And I hate to keep going back and forth with this, but the whole Christian Kirk thing, all it took was the Jaguars to believe in him, to pay him that much money, and look what he got.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. It's tough because I think ridiculous money for Diontae Johnson in the open market is $26 million.
Yep.
When you see this list, though, and you got Deebo Samuel is going to be a free agent sooner rather than later, most likely. Do you what would his value be? If Diontae Johnson's still remains high, Deebo's could be $30 million. If that's what we're valuing.
Oh, for sure. But Deebo also offers a lot more versatility in what you're able to do.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
I would argue a lot more production too.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I mean. Deebo's bar is here. Deontay's is here. So do you really expect Deebo to be a $30 million guy? Or do you think that he'd be a $25 million guy and that would set the bar much lower for Diontae?
The only problem is that I don't think Diontae is going to ask for $30 million. I don't think his camp is going to try to start negotiations at $30 million and then kind of work their way down from there. Especially in the NFL too. Your market value is kind of already within a certain limit. It just depends on who's going to budge or who's going to blink in negotiations. I still think that number is between 20 to 22, 23 a year. I think that's kind of the sweet spot for what Diontae is going to get eventually.
All right, I like that number. I don't dislike that number. I think Deontay's worth as much as, like you said, as much as anybody's going to pay him, as much as the Steelers are going to pay him. I think this list just clears a lot of people's eyes. It just kind of makes a statement hey, stop talking about it because no, he's not. And do you think the Steelers dodged a bullet with this one? If the Steelers paid him $20 million 2 months ago, and we're sitting here, do you think that, or 3 weeks ago, do you think that we're like, oh man, he's not even in the top 15?
Oh no, not at all. Because you have to. I think you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, sure, if you pay him $20 million, that puts him like top 10 receiver money, doesn't? That's just like, or like right around like
Top
the rough
12.
edges of that. I'd have to like go back and like look at it, obviously, but I mean, like you're still locking down your guy, your number one receiver the last couple of years for. I don't want to say like a reasonable price, but like I don't think anybody's going to see Diontae Johnson getting 20 or 21 or even maybe like 22 million a year and go, oh man, that's ridiculous. Especially considering what Terry McLaurin just got, and like we brought up their stats.
But Terry
last
McLaurin
week.
made an honorable mention.
Yeah, but like, we both know like Terry McLaurin has produced with some not great offenses, and Diontae Johnson has kind of produced with some not great offenses as well. And also, like you're not like paying for what Diontae Johnson has like done for you. You're paying for what Diontae Johnson can do for you in the future. And I think that's where some of the mix-up kind of gets as well. You want to lock him down so whenever Diontae Johnson does become a $26 million per year receiver, you already have him on a but like a team-friendly deal as opposed to what the rest of the market is going to be like deserving at that time.
Yeah, that's not a bad argument. I mean, if you're saving $6 million a year for 3 seasons, that's not a bad argument at all.
That's true, but that's also the way of thinking the Steelers haven't exactly adopted the last 3 years if the name has been Antonio Brown. Yeah, and exactly. That's where that whole other argument comes into play.
But at the same time, they have. I mean, they haven't had a wide receiver since Antonio Brown. You weren't going to pay Juju a boatload of money to pay a lot of money. But at the same time, they've shown they're willing to pay a lot of money. I don't know. It's like this special term. You know what I mean? Like there's still all these beat writers out there that I hear. And like, I'm still, this is year 4 in the locker room and year 9 on covering this team. And I've heard the term special player like a million times when it comes to paying guys, but it just doesn't make sense. Like if you're only special players get contracts. Like to me, it seems as if you're good, you get a contract.
Yeah.
Special players get crazy contracts. Crazy. You get Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Minka money if you're special, but that's not, it doesn't mean that they're not going to sit around and pay somebody. They were willing to pay Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell wasn't special. He was just good. If we went back, Le'Veon Bell and Diontae Johnson are the same player, the same exact player. Don't show up in the playoffs. In Bell's case, he was hurt in the playoffs.
I think Le'Veon Bell was arguably the top of his position whenever he played. I don't think we could ever have said that about Diontae Johnson. Two different positions.
It's so much easier to be the best running back in football. It's so much easier to be the best running back.
I would agree.
So, but that's what I mean.
But he still was.
If there was one wide receiver from every NFL team, Diontae Johnson I guess he wouldn't be because this is still one wide receiver from every team. So I guess he'd still be pretty low. I don't know. I never thought Le'Veon was generational talent.
No, I'm never saying he was generational talent, but like there was a strong stretch of time where Le'Veon, and granted behind a very good offensive line behind and playing in a very, very high-flying Steelers offense that featured still very good Big Ben, a top 5, top 3 offensive line whenever everybody was healthy. Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, even like Juju for a little bit there too, I believe. Actually, no. Did he play with Juju?
Maybe a year, but
dude,
no.
My version of time is so warped, bro.
Yeah, no. I guess for 1 year, he would have played with them in 2017, but that would have been it because 2018 was the last year that AB and that was the year Le'Veon didn't play. It was also the last year AB played, so he would have played with them for 1 year.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like maybe Bell was going to get paid. Bell wasn't going to get paid generational money. He was going to get a pretty high amount of money for his position group, but I don't know. Like, I don't think the Steelers' whole, whatever you want to call it, the Steelers way, everything that is embedded into everyone having an opinion on this of the Steelers don't pay people. The Steelers pay a lot of people. They just don't pay a lot of people a lot of money. $20 million right now is a lot of money. In 2 years, it won't be a lot of, like, think about it. George Pickens is going to make $30 million a year in 4 years on an average contract. And if he's
I
the
hope
best
so,
wide
because that
receiver
means
in
he's
football,
a freaking baller.
but it doesn't mean that he's a baller. He could be, think about it, in 4 years, $30 million in the wide receiver market's nothing.
No, it'd still be very high.
It wouldn't
30 million, dude. Come on.
If Diontae Johnson's getting paid 25, if Deebo Samuel and Tyreek Hill are players that could get paid $30 million this year, in 4 years, you're telling me a Christian Kirk isn't going to come around, sign a $28 million deal because that's what the value is, and then boom,
I don't think $30 million is going to be nothing money.
I think it will. I mean, like, yeah, to me and you, that's $1 billion. But if people 4 years ago probably weren't saying $20 billion is nothing money, and it's nothing money right now if you're a wide receiver. When what was AB's contract?
I don't even think 20 million is still nothing money, because like we're debating on whether or not Diontae Johnson should get around $20 million. And that's not nothing money. If it was nothing money, then the Steelers would pay it, right?
If it wasn't a wide receiver, I'd say yes.
But like, here's the thing with all that. But here's the problem with that process. Omar Khan came in right away and got the Minka deal done. Like he is not the conventional Steelers way general manager. And it like he does not operate like Kevin Colbert did. We've already seen the differences in the first month he's been at the helm.
I agree.
And I'm not saying Omar Khan is going to sign Diontae Johnson to X, Y, or Z money, but I mean the old adage and the old verbiage of, oh, the Steelers don't pay wide receivers. I get it. They draft them very well. They can develop them very well. But if you get a guy like Diontae Johnson, probably want to try to keep him around. And unless Diontae Johnson is demanding $30 million a year.
I mean, I'm not paying Diontae Johnson $30 million a year. I'm just saying.
Nobody is.
How long ago did AB signed his last contract in Pittsburgh in 2017? That was 5 years ago. And five years ago, his major crazy deal, because it was good money. It was good money. He was the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, correct? When he signed that deal? Yep. I'm almost positive. He was getting $17 million a season 5 years ago, Donnie. Okay? And like now, the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL 5 years later is making $30 million a year. So you're telling me in another 5 years, George Pickens isn't signing for $30 million?
No, I never said that. I just disagree when people say 5 years from now, $30 million is going to be nothing money. $30 million is a lot of money, bro. No matter who's making it, no matter what position, $30 million is a lot of money, bro. Like, that's not going to change in 4 years.
It is a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how that, you know what I mean? Like the salary cap doesn't actually exist. So it's very hard to say.
No, for sure. And like I do agree that like the market value will continue to go up and it will continue to climb. I just think that like $30 million is still going to be a very big deal for somebody to get.
I don't know. Like I agree with that. I agree. I see where you're coming from and I agree with that. But like just in like if it wasn't Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? If it was just in the grand scheme of things, like Godwin is making $20 million this season. Neither of us even knew it. You know what? Because that's just like whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's 12 guys making more than $20 million a year in the NFL right now at wide receiver, and we can name 4 of them. That's like, you know what I mean? So like in just the macro, it's a little bit of nothing money. It's just a little bit of nothing money. For the Pittsburgh Steelers in 4 years, we'll be having the same debate. In a year, we'll be having the same debate. Is Chase Claypool worth this money? And then in 4 years, it'll be people trying to rip our heads off because we're trying to make an argument that that the Pittsburgh Steelers should pay George Pickens $45 million a season.
Well, good thing they already do that. So
that's what I'm saying. So it's crazy. It is crazy. Imagine 10 years from now. By the time we retire, at what point could it stop? Like at what point does the salary cap just go, all right, we're done? We can't go. Quarterbacks are making $100 million a year. We can't go any higher. We can't do it. I think that's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
It is.
But in 4 years, things could be nuts. I do agree with you on literally everything you've said about, it's a lot of money. It's Pittsburgh. DJ doesn't stay or doesn't change. I get all that. I think it was a good sign on where they place him. I also think it's very telling that, like, I would love to see what all those players make on that top 15. You know what I mean? Like, Keenan Allen can't make $20 million a year. There's no way. There's no way. All right, let's talk about a petition to take down Acrisure Stadium.
Take down.
Maybe we'll get behind it. But first, word from our boys at Manscaped, and we got a new code, so make sure you listen tight. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Got Bush? You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. Taking control of your bush is important. These products are so good, you're going to be showing pride in your new bush-free yard. It's a fact that you will have the best kept nutsack on the cul-de-sac. Save big and be the most hygienic version of yourself by using our discount code STEELERS20 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Whether you're looking to go bald like an eagle or just need a safe trim, Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game. Their grooming package I highly recommend is the Performance Package 4.0. Inside the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is a bush's worst nightmare. This trimmer is designed to reduce grooming accidents and shave hair on loose skin thanks to a ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology. No need for night vision goggles. This trimmer has an LED light to allow you to mow the lawn in the dark. It's basic landscaping. When you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. The second best tool in the performance package is the Weed Whacker. This fine-tuned nose and ear hair trimmer will make sure your nasty nose pubes are under control. Instantly add some pep to your step with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Spray-On Testy Toner. With a performance package purchase, you get 2 free gifts, the Shed Travel Bag and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped Boxers. They have a bunch of other products on their website to help you maximize your confidence and grooming game. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code STEELERS20 at manscaped.com. Kate Bush may be trending at the moment, but your bush needs some help. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and all you have to do is use our code STEELERS20. It's time you level up from the Amazon to the Amadon with the ultimate bushwhacking tools from Manscaped. It's always the end. It's always the end that gets me. It's always just like
whoever writes those needs a crazy raise, bro.
Oh, insane. In just like the dirtiest mind. I picture like Bill Burr, Tom Segura, and like,
jeez, dude.
Like a little splash of Joe Rogan, just like sitting at a table coming up with just coming up with these. That's what
Why did the promo code change?
I have no idea. Got an email one day that said that our code got leaked somewhere, and I was like, I thought that was a good thing. And they're like, Steelers20 is now the code. And I was like, all right, sounds good. So
say less.
Be what it be. All right, let's talk about a petition. Pittsburgh Steelers, as we all know, have a new home, Acrisure Stadium. It's the dumbest name in football, probably, at least for the time being. But it is what it is. At one point, people probably lost their mind that a ketchup bottle owned by Warren Buffett was taking over the North Shore. $150 million. I'd go buy Heinz Field if I had 100, and I'd name it Noah Strackbine. I wouldn't even name it Stadium. Noah Strackbine. That's where the Pittsburgh Steelers play. But that's what happens. It's money. In recent days, we're less than a week. When did I talk to Rooney? On Tuesday? In that amount of time, a petition has formed from Pittsburgh Steelers fans trying to not say congratulations or tell Rooney to look into other things, but to just get it the hell out of here. Acrisure Stadium needs to be removed. Steelers Stadium, name change, petition. The last time we checked, it was at 939 signatures. Started by good old Daniel Sass. Okay.
You're not going to sign it?
I feel like that's a little bit against what I'm here to do, but it is what it is. Let's read it. Shall we read it? I say we should read it. Heinz Field is the only sponsored stadium that the team has ever played in. Granted, they've played at 2 stadiums ever. Previously playing at Three Rivers Stadium, Pitt Stadium, and before that, Forbes Field.
Jeez, man. Okay. Dude, they're going all the way back.
Let's just keep it going. But now, the Heinz Field sponsorship is no more. Its new name was just announced, and it is horrible. 4 explanation points. Acrisure Field. It's Acrisure Stadium, but we're going to let that one slide. Anything at all would have been better than that. No, we're going to talk about that. An out-of-state sponsor comes in and inflicts this name change on us that isn't even easy to pronounce. How do you pronounce Acrisure Stadium improperly? Please change the name. Three Rivers Stadium would work. Okay, Donnie. Let's talk about it. We'll bring it back up. Let's
talk about it
on the field. All right. I want to address the middle line there that says anything would be better than that. Okay? Anything.
I'm here. Yeah.
Anything at all. Let's name it Pickle Park. Where do the Steelers play? Pickle Park. Playing a little ball down at the Pickle Park.
Name it your mom's house.
Yeah, your mom's house would be a great one.
Yeah.
Would be a great one.
Where are they playing this weekend? Your mom's house?
Yeah, fries on a sandwich stadium. Like, there could be the strip field. That would be awful.
Monongahela Stadium.
Monongahela. Yeah, like anything. We can't even pronounce it. What if they picked anything in Pittsburgh that you wouldn't know? Go ahead. Pick any of the bridges outside of the big yellow ones downtown. $10 says in a week, everybody would forget what that bridge is called.
Dude, that should be a sobriety test to get on the ferry back.
Well, nobody would pass that. They should do that, actually. They should definitely do that. Just all right, what's the name of the stadium? Heinz Field. You're walking, bud.
Get out, bro. Yeah, you're swimming.
You're out. Dude, bad. It will never get changed. It will never get changed. How many signatures do you think this could get to?
I'd say over 1,000.
It started 3 days ago.
Yeah. It's not going to be anything crazy. I mean, anything crazy would have been like...
In 14 minutes, how long have we been talking? A minute and a half? It jumped up from 370 to 930 to 970.
Yeah. So I thought anything crazy would have been like 939,000. Because if it got close to 1 million signatures, then we're kind of talking. Then like that should definitely grab some big eyes from decision makers. But I mean...
But
bro, there's
what could be done?
Hundreds of millions of Steelers fans across the world. Dude, 1,000 of them signing a petition. 90% of them
could care less. Oh, yeah. I ran across it in a Facebook group today, and I was shocked at how much traction it got immediately. My thing is just like, I don't even know where to go with this. Like, in my head, this is nuts. It's nuts. What?
Continue.
Go ahead. I got nothing.
Continue.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was listening to you preach, bro.
No, you had a look. Go ahead.
No, bro, I was listening to you. I told you on Tuesday, I am probably one of maybe 4 people on this planet right now who do not care Heinz Field went away in Acrisure Stadium, Field, Park, Campo, whatever. got named the new Spanish for stadium, or field. I forget which one.
Guy's going to a soccer
I
game
don't
in a
care.
week. He's
Like,
already
it
got
has no impact on my life whatsoever. I'm still gonna buy Heinz ketchup until I'm dead, 6 feet into the freaking ground.
Do you see all these memes about the Heinz ketchup bottle with Acrisure's logo on it? Like
No.
Acrisure ketchup? Like, what do we think this is going to happen? Do we think this is really going to be a thing here?
Listen, man, think how great your life has to be that people are bitching about a stadium that is no longer named after ketchup. If that is your biggest problem today, you should be very thankful for the life that you have.
That's awesome. Like, that's the best way to put it. That is the perfect way to put it. That's what I mean. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. Like, there have been few things that I have signed petitions for. Major giant things that have happened in this world that I've just been like, whoa, man, that shouldn't happen. We should do something about that as a people. I believe one of them, none of them actually, was to change his football stadium name. Ever. I could see if they were like, oh, the Steelers are moving to Michigan. Then people would be like, oh, I'd sign that one. I'd be like, dude, I don't want to go live in Michigan. My fiance's not moving to Michigan. We're like, hey, they got a lake. It splits the whole state in half. If we pick the wrong side to live on, we got to take a boat all the way to the game every Sunday. And let's hope that it's on the right side. Like, that would be dumb. But the name, what are we going to do in 15 years? Do you think we'll get the same reaction in 15 years? When I think they'll be like, well, we won 4 Super Bowls, and there's Minka Fitzpatrick intercepted Tom Brady to take us to the playoffs in 2026 at Acrisure Stadium. Yins.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, Jerry Dulac already said that this deal is much better than the previous deal that Heinz had given them. We don't know if or what the bid for Heinz was to the Steelers. The more money, the better to fix the stadium and take dollars out of taxpayers' wallets, or keeping it there, excuse me, than to try to kind of use everybody else's money in the city of Pittsburgh to make upgrades to the stadium. Now, they don't really have to worry about that. You read from, I think it was like a press release or something, that they were going to invest into the stadium themselves. And like I brought up on Tuesday, what has Heinz really done for the Pittsburgh community? Because I still am very unaware of anything super helpful for all of these people to kind of like align themselves with.
Yeah, it's like what they put 2 giant ketchup bottles.
Dude, it's something different, and people are creatures of habit. That's all it is.
Facts. I do like this comment from Donald here in the comments out here. When Three Rivers became Heinz Field, it was the same thing. That's great to know. I've been wondering that for a week now. Of just was the reaction the same? Like, did people lose? Like, you're bringing a ketchup bottle to hot? You're gonna make the Steelers play on a ketchup bottle? I think it'd be the same thing. Only, like, I'm telling you, dude, they should fly like drones down and be like, this is what Acrisure is all about. And I'd be like, that's freaking awesome, man. Like, if they deliver me my halftime hot dogs on a drone, I will lose my mind. I will actually lose my mind. That's all I want. Like, yo, can I get some barbecue sauce? Drops it down. Like, no words. It'd be beautiful.
Look, all they did was they bought the naming rights to the stadium. People are still going to call it Heinz Field. That's okay. That is fine.
Yeah, that is fine. And, shout out, got to give Smack Apparel. So did my DMs earlier, and they were like, yo, we're with the we're not changing Heinz Field movement, even though they understand it's a business transaction. Sent this shirt, and they're like, yo, dog, check this shirt out. So I was like, oh, that's a cool shirt. And I know a lot of people out here are doing the same thing, so would like to show the shirt. There it is. Heinz Field forever. I'm all about that life. If you want to do it, the first comment in the thing. All about that life. I'm all about people who are passionate about their stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like when those Juju shirts of him standing over Vontaze Burfict blew up, I bought one because that was awesome. That was just a well-timed t-shirt. And I think that's what makes Steelers fans beautiful. I don't know. Like, I went to Cleveland, the Cleveland-Denver game last year, and it was like a lot of the same stuff, Like, I feel like you go to a Steelers game and you see like 45 different t-shirts, at least 6 different sections of 45 different t-shirts, I went to the Cleveland-Denver game and everybody was just in jerseys. And I was like, yes, like Cleveland jerseys sucks, but there's no Baker Mayfield jerseys. None. Yeah. No, like none. I saw Joe Hayden jersey. Not respect. Speaking of Joe Hayden, did you see Joe Hayden's tattoo of that's hard?
That's super hard. No, I was a big fan of that tattoo.
Yeah, that was dope. Do we think it's an indication that he's retiring?
I don't know, man, because I wouldn't take it as that. I think just because like his roots are so ingrained in Cleveland at the beginning of his career, and then like he played with Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh kind of welcomed him with open arms. So he obviously has like a soft spot for Pittsburgh as well. He's probably the only man on the planet that can get away with a tattoo that is half Steelers, half Browns, and everybody's like, all right, cool,
on
sure.
The planet. Yeah, they're just like, all right, that's pretty dope. Like, good for him. Yeah, he could have won a million different ways, like.
But no, if he plays somewhere else, like let's say like one more year with like Minnesota or like Arizona, like there's really no.
If he wins the Super Bowl with somebody.
No, he'll get like a Lombardi tatted on him, but I don't think it'll be like anything crazy like that.
That'd be sick. That is a hard tattoo. That's a really hard tattoo. I'm all about that. Joe Swaggy Hayden. I hope he comes back. He won't, but I hope he comes back. I really, truly do hope he comes back. All right, last thing we got to talk about. Le'Veon Bell announced his semi-retirement. He was like, I'm not leaving, but I'm walking away. I'm like, dude, you're 30 years old. You're done. On Instagram, said that he's going to go focus on boxing. He's got his first matchup, I believe, at the end of the month with Adrian Peterson. I cannot wait until we put our bets on that, because we are 100% betting on that game. I don't care if I have to Venmo you. We're doing it. and I don't know who we're feeling. We got to talk about that. But anyways, within his entire thing here, he mentions the 2018 Pittsburgh Steelers and what could have been. And for the first time, I think ever, this is the first time he said this, that maybe he somewhat admits he screwed up. Obviously, we, whoever wish things would have played out differently in 2018. Like, if I legit had a time machine to go back to 2018, that would be so lit for so many reasons, but I don't. All we can do is keep moving forward with life. Let me ask this, Donnie, before we dive into this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Le'Veon Bell saying he screwed up?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And you know what? It's okay. I respect it. And I accept it, because we've seen bits and pieces of Antonio Brown kind of doing the same thing, but nothing really like that. Nothing super crazy like, hey, I messed up. It was all on me. I know AB had that like Instagram post where he like kind of like apologized to Big Ben. But like nothing really like this. But good for him, because I think everybody in Pittsburgh can kind of tag along with me and understand that it sucked to see him go. He was an incredible running back to watch, especially after the Steelers only kind of shortchanged him a little bit in terms of the money he got from New York. And it sucked to watch him go, but dude, like, you saw very quickly how different the New York Jets were from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
How
and the rest of
drastic of a downturn that was.
Le'Veon Bell is the reason that anybody who says, well, we don't know what we're going to get out of Deshaun Watson if he doesn't play this season is dead on. Le'Veon Bell was the first guy that we saw what happens when you take a year off of football, especially when you play a position where you need to know how to get hit, avoid hits, and your body needs contact. It is the hardest sport to walk away from and then come back and try to play at the same level. It taught a lot of people like he's now a caution tale to so many. Melvin Gordon, almost sat out a year. I think realized he shouldn't do that because his career will pretty much be over. Came back in and was able to play. I mean, for the rest of time, people are going to use Le'Veon Bell's name in that context of, yeah, well, he's sitting out a year, but like, remember when Le'Veon Bell sat out and then his career completely busted after that?
And here's the thing with that too. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, he didn't have to really take any hits that year. Like he preserved his body so he could be fresh and healthy going into whatever new contract that he signed. Especially at the running back position, where after the age of 30, it's like a flat line. Like very rarely do running backs produce after the age of 30. And that's why you see them have such a short shelf life in the NFL.
Yep.
Dude, he's still a year older. I understand not taking like bumps and bruises along the way. He's still another year older whenever he signs that deal. And you haven't seen him play for the last calendar year if you're an NFL team.
Yep. Dude,
so I get it. Look, he got his money. At the very end of the day, he got his guaranteed money. He secured the bag for probably the rest of his life. He did what he needed to do. But I also think in an Instagram post that you had brought up, you see that he wishes he could have changed things, and he probably could have played one more year with the Steelers. And who knows, had he played that year, things might have been a little bit different.
Could have. I mean, it's crazy. And you bring, like, the best point there is you're a year, like, dude, think about it. I get up off the couch sometimes. I know you do too, where like, you're just like, oh my God, why do I hurt? And we're 26, 27 years old and we do nothing with our lives. We go to the gym and I barely do that. And my body's deteriorating. Like I couldn't even imagine going and getting hit by a football player after a year off. Couldn't imagine. But that's what it is. At the end of the day, he did get money. I'm happy that he got money. I hope that his boxing career is successful. I think Le'Veon Bell was a villain amongst villains when he was leaving Pittsburgh. I think that all that was very selfish.
He embraced that. That's the difference. He embraced it.
Dude, embraced it, but didn't embrace it at the same time. Remember the tweet that was like, they make me a villain in my own city. I'm like, dude, you released a diss album about the city, man.
Bro, he
about
did
the
it to
whole city.
Himself.
Yeah, he was the villain. But that's what he was looking for, But at the time, I didn't agree with anything he's doing. But since then, what Le'Veon Bell has done, in my opinion, is just, I don't hold grudges. I don't think anybody else does either. If in 2 years he wants to come back and say, yo, I want to sign a one-day contract with the Steelers and retire with the Steelers, do they let him do it? I don't know. But I wouldn't be upset about it, Like,
I also do. I would like that a lot.
Yeah, right? Like, I think he's cool. Up there. Yeah, he's like the third best running back to ever play for the Steelers, which is crazy. But he's pretty high up there. And even if it was only, 4 years? I don't know. Sun City, you need to go listen to his diss album because according to Donnie, he's the best rapper to ever come out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not. It's Terrell Edmonds.
Nah, dude.
By a mile.
Nah, Terrell Edmonds is better off playing football. And if you know my track record with him, not a compliment.
I'm waiting for Terrell Edmonds to drop his diss track against Donnie Druin. And I'm going to be super hyped about that.
I wish I could see it. He's blocked me on Twitter, bro. I haven't seen anything Terrell Edmonds the last 6 months of my life.
I'll FaceTime you next time I'm in the locker room. I'll be like, yo, what's good, dog? This is my homie Donnie. This is Rel. He's going to rap about
this is who's been talking mad trash about you?
Yeah. You know that kid that was 7, 15, 20 years ago that was just unloading bullets on you? That's him, actually. He's right here on the phone.
Only if I get to bring up Benny Snow.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But I got 365 days before I don't have to worry about Benny Snell or Mason Rudolph anymore, and we're good.
Hey,
we're good.
Got to worry about his jersey, though.
Yeah, keep bringing that up, huh? Just keep reminding me about that one. Fantastic.
Sweet victory.
All right. We are heading out of here. Thank you so much.
Really quick. Who's going to win that boxing match? Adrian Peterson or Le'Veon Bell?
We're having a whole episode about this, but it's going to be Le'Veon Bell, unfortunately.
Okay. I think
I'm all about AP. Okay. I'm all about AP. I really am. I'm going to be like, I love Adrian Peterson. I think he's like one of the best running backs of all time. Super undervalued for what he's accomplished. And I want him to win, like a really bad, which is going to be the difficult part of betting on this match is I'm going to want him to win so bad, but Le'Veon Bell, chances are, is going to smoke him. Like, especially if he's been training for years. I don't know how long Adrian Peterson's been training. Bell's lighter. He's a smaller guy. AP's bigger. It's, at worst case scenario, you go 6 rounds. I don't know. We're like a week away, 2 weeks away.
Yeah, was it July 30th?
Yeah, July 30th.
Yeah.
Wow. Like really close. Yeah. Can't wait to lose money on that one. It's been a minute since we've lost some money. It's been good.
Yeah, it has.
It's been good. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Use our promo code at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. And as always, like this video, be a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend to come check us out. We'll be back tomorrow with Friday with Derek, the Kid. Enjoy your night. Peace.